up guys? So in today's video we're going to be building another Frontend Mentor challenge, and this is how it looks like. So let's quickly demonstrate how the demo looks like. So if I refresh, we'll get a little fade in, and you can select whatever rating you want. So if I select 4 for example, and I click on submit, you can see that this modal popped up and I can see the number I selected. So you can go to Frontend Mentor if you want to practice your front-end skills. They really have cool challenges, and the goal of my channel, one of the goals of my channel, is to literally build all the free challenges, and I'll show you guys how I build all of them. That's how we'll also be learning how to build this one. Okay, so let's quickly look for it. I think this is it. I've already downloaded the file, and don't worry, the code will be in the GitHub repo in the description below, as well as timestamps. So okay guys, let's dive right into the video. Alright guys, so I already have a Vite application up and running. So if you don't know what Vite is, it's a build tool for building React applications, and you can actually build this challenge with whatever language you want. As you can see, you can just use HTML, CSS, and JS. HTML, CSS, and JS. You can use Vue, you can use whatever you want. So I just decided to use React, and like I said, I have a Vite application up and running, and you can create yours by running this command or by typing this command: npm create vite add latest. Then you can specify the part you want right here, and I think the next prompt will be to select the framework you want to use, as well as if you want to use JavaScript or TypeScript. So that's just basically it, and I already cleaned up the files. I got rid of the app.css and some other files that we don't need, and I brought in the images we'll be using from Frontend Mentor. And okay, if you go to the config file, the default port I think is 4173, but I changed mine to 3000, so you can leave yours as it is or you can change it as well. And for the index file, I just changed the title to this rating, and I also installed Framer Motion, for the little animation we'll be doing as well. Alright, cool. So let's head over to Figma and see what we'll be building. Okay, so this is a basic component, just a container or a panel. So we literally, this is popping up. Alright, so we'll be dividing this into different sections. Like as you can see, we have this dark background right here, and we have this panel or container holding this whole stuff, and we have this image, which is one div on its own. This can also be another div on its own as well, and these rating buttons, I think we'll be looping over them. This will be on its own as well as the button. So that's just basically the concept of what we'll be doing, I think. So the same thing for this thank you modal too, and I think there's some active states and hover state right here, but let's just start with this one. Okay, cool. First of all, let's just create a class, and let's call this rating container. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, like I said, if you go back, the image came first, so let's quickly import the image. You can do that by saying import, let's just call this star from part should be dot. I think we have to go back a step here. And images, and icon star, the svg. Yeah, we need to show it in our browser and just say image source should be star, and let's just give this a class name star. Alright, cool. So we can see that right here. Next is this text right here. How did we do? Okay, so this should be the only H1. So we say how did we do? And next should be the p tag. It should be a p tag with this text. So let's say, please let us know how we did with your support request. Let's say, please let us know how you did with your support request. What was the other text? All feedback is appreciated to help us improve our offering. So all feedback, I can't spell feedback, is appreciated, and I can spell appreciated too, to help us improve our offering. I think it was an exclamation mark. Yeah, cool. All right, so we need to create these buttons right here. So just to save us time, we'll be looping over the buttons instead of creating them manually. So here's what I mean. Let's just give this a class name of rating number, and say open a curly brackets and say create an array instead of all the numbers we need, and just map over each of them, or call it rating rather. So it should be in parentheses. Yeah, so open this and just create the button now, and the type of the button, the type should be button, and this should be the rating itself. And while we're at that, since we are mapping over this, we also need to give this a key, and the key can still be the rating, or you can still use the index, which will still give you the same output. And you just also give this a class name of rating btn. All right, so the cool thing about this right now, is that I don't need to create a separate button for this. If I want another button right here, I can just add it right here and it should pop up. We'll need 5. And I just realized that we need, okay, this can be done in different ways, but just to make this more convenient, we'll change this to a form tag instead, so that we can just submit this entire thing and we'll get the thank you modal when this form is submitted. So let's create the button. So outside this, you can just say button, and this should be submit. Class name should be btn. So save. Alright, cool. So now let's style this rating container we just created. So if I go to the index.css, I already brought in the font they use, which is overpass, and like I said, the code will be in the description. And I also brought in the colors we'll be using as well, and I gave this a default style. So let's start by centering this whole stuff in the middle. So if we go back to the Figma file, you can see that this is centered in the middle, and it has a background, a dark background. So you can say, let's first of all set the font family and give this the overpass, and the fallback font should be sans serif. The background should be this very dark blue, yeah, and the color should be white. I think that's it. Okay, font is coming in. Now we need to center it in the middle, so we can just use display grid, but we need to give this a height of 100 VH and add display grid, and as well place items center. So if you don't know what this property does, essentially it takes the height of this, the entire height of this viewport, and it just centers in the middle with these properties right here. But we also need to like give this a max content, because in this Figma file you can see that it has a fixed max width right here, which you can also set here as well. So let's just get the rating container and give this a max width of 400 pixels, a margin inline of auto, which is going to center it left and right. Then we give this a background color. This should be that dark blue, but not very dark. Yeah. We also need to add a padding. Let's see, up and down or top and bottom should be 2 rem. Left and right should be 1.5 rem. And while we are there, let's just add the border radius of 1 rem. Alright, cool. So it's coming together. So what we need to do now is to style each of the elements inside the rating container. So let's start with the first one, which is the star, which is this SVG right here. So you can just give this a margin bottom of 1 rem. Let's just give everything a margin bottom, because we need even spaces for each of them. So we say star, AH1 and the P tag. Alright. Okay, cool. You can leave the font of the H1 as it is. It's not bad. I just realized I will also need to add a border radius to this image. So what we need to do right now is that we need to, let's put this in a div, I think. Then we'll call this star. Then we no longer need this one. So if we say, now we can say the star should have a background color of light green now. Alright, so we say let's say the width should be 20 pixels, or let's bump it up a bit. Let's say 30 pixels. The height should be 30 pixels as well. So text align should be center. Then the line height, you can also set it to 30 pixels. And as well, alright, let's add a display flex. Line item should be center. Justify content should be center. Yeah, I think we no longer need this. Yeah, we don't longer need that again. And border radius should be 50% to give you this round shape. But I think the color, should we use this one right here? Yeah, so it's not coming in. Let's look for another color. Okay, let's try the light gray. So let's try the light gray. Medium gray. This is what happens when you're doing stuff from the top of your head. Okay, we're going to leave it like this, then we just increase. Yeah, but I really don't like the color. Instead, let's just get it directly from Figma. So you can see this should be this. Okay, so let's just grab it here and cut it out and see the background color should be this. Okay, it's coming in, but this and this are the same color, so I think let's try one more time. I think this very dark blue should work. We just leave it as this. Let's just leave it as this color. You don't always get what you want. All right, cool. So next is to style these buttons right here. So first of all, let's head back here and let's give this a, let's just reset the button and remove the, it should be background color. Remove the background color, get rid of the border, send the font family to inherit this font family, and let's set the cursor to pointer. All right, so now we can start styling the button. So the first one was rating number, so I can say rating number. I will say margin bottom should be, let's say 2rem. Okay, cool. Then it's already displayed inline by default, so let's just still add the display flex just in case. So rating button now, which is this button, we'll give this a background color. Let's give this a background color of the very dark blue. Yeah, so the color itself should be mid gray or medium gray. So let's increase the font size to see it properly. Okay, cool. Let's also add a height of 50 pixels and a width of 50 pixels as well. It's coming in. Let's add the margin right so that I can give this a gap. And I believe, let me try something. If I add a gap from, yeah, I should still do the same thing. So let's get rid of this one. Let's set the border radius to 100%. 50 should work as well. Yeah, let's see what we have. It's coming as we want. Okay, so let's add, okay, let's just style this submit button first. I wanted to add the hover state for it, so let's just style this button, the submit button. So I believe I called it button, and just give this a width of 100% to span all the way through. The background color should be this orange color. Color itself should be white. Then the padding should be 0.7 rem and 1 rem left and right. Cool. Font size, I just increase it. Okay, so I need to add the border radius of 100% VW, which will just turn it to a pew shape. I think that's about it for the submit button. It seems there's a little spacing right here, so first of all take this to uppercase, and I think we need to set this to 1 rem. Yeah, add a little spacing of, let's say, 1 pixels. Let's increase the font weight 500. Let's say 600. All right, cool. Also need to change, give this paragraph a light color. I feel, yeah, you still have this medium light. So after this, let's just do it here and say this piece should have the medium gray color, and line height should be 1.6. Okay, that works fine. So now let's add the hover state to this button right here. So to these buttons now, as you can see, the hover state is this one, as well as these two, while the active or the focus state for this is this orange button. Okay, so what we need to do right now is to give this or add a hover state to it. And when we hover, what do we want? We want the background color to be this light gray, and we want the color to be white. And while we are there, let's just add the transition so that it just happen fast. And just say all should be 0.2 as is. So when we hover over it, okay, not bad. Why for this, believe it was white and just the opposite. So we can get this, paste this right here, and the button should have a hover state. The background color should be white, then the color itself should be the orange color. So we move over it. Yeah, this is what we need. Now we need to more or less add a focus state on this, so we can do it directly from our CSS, but let's just do it from the CSS directly. So if we go over to this rating button just before this hover state, you can just say rating and add focus state to it. So when we focus, what do we want? We need the background color to be this orange color, and the color should be white. So when we click on this, yeah, we can see over it. All right, so we need to create the thank you modal right now, and as you can see, the styles are kind of similar, so shouldn't take that long. So head over to our app file, and for now let's just wrap this in a fragment. So we're going to be putting it under the form. So we can say it should be a div of the class of thank you. Inside the, what do we want? We want the image, and let's quickly bring in that image. I'm sorry guys, my mouse just died, so I had to provide a fix for it. Okay, what was I saying? I said we brought in this thank you image right now, so we need to bring it right here and say thank you, save. Yeah, it's coming in. Under it we need to add a span and give this a class of rating, and I think the text was you selected 4 out of 5. So for now let's just say selected 4 out of 5. Next text, okay, you should be an H2. Thank you. Then we appreciate. Okay, this is quite long to type. Just give me a second for me to grab that text. I'll be back shortly. Alright guys, so I've brought in the text. Now what we need to do, I think that is basically about it. So I think we need to head back to our CSS file and start styling it. So this shouldn't take long. So grab the thank you image first of all, and let's add the margin bottom, so 2rem of 2rem rather. And while we are there, since this container and this container are quite similar in terms of the padding and background color and the border radius, what I feel we should do is just to add the thank you class right here. Yeah, so more like a 2-for-1 situation. Okay, cool. Yep, so this is what we want. So now what we need to do is to center this image right here. So let me grab this thank you, just give this a text align or center. I don't know why this is going to the left, some red reasons. So let's get the rating, which is this right here, and I wrote this BG color down because things I couldn't get in from this color right here. So color is 1E262E. Yeah, so the color itself should be the orange color, and once again the border radius should be 1rem, and let's set this to be inline block instead of inline. While we're there, let's also add the margin bottom of 2rem and a padding of 0.6rem for the top and bottom and 2rem for the left and right. Alright, so it's coming in as we want. Now what we need to do is to just add a margin bottom to this thank you. So we can just grab this H2 right here, add a margin bottom of 1rem. Okay, cool. So we're done with the styling. What we need to do is to add interactivity. So when we click on this, we'll need to select this in order for this to show, and we can do that by using state. So we're going to have two states. The first state is to actually get the rating that the user is going to select, and the other state is to show this if this has been, or if this form right here has been submitted. Okay, so the first thing we're going to just call this, let's just call this selected rating, and set selected rating should be stored in state, should be empty for now. The other one should be is selected and set is selected, and this should be false. So for this, what we need to do is to get this rating. So if I click on this theory, I need to store that rating in this set selected rating right here. So let's create a function to handle that. So we'll say handle selected rating, and this should actually, okay, this should be selected, and we're going to pass in this rating right here, and we'll set this set selected rating to be whatever rating that the user clicks. So for this to work, first of all, let's console the log out the selected rating, and it's undefined at the moment because there's actually nothing. If I set it to null, it should be null here. So let's just leave it at null. Alright, so we need this to happen when we click on this button. So we need to add an event listener to the button. So that event listener will be on click. So when we click on the button, we need to call in anonymous function and say the handle rating should be the rating. So when we click on this button, we're basically passing the rating we clicked on and storing it in this function right here. So if I click on this for, it should pop up right here. And if you don't know what this, how I'm getting this, I'm using an extension called Console Ninja. So you can get that from the extensions right here. So it saved me the stress of opening my DevTools. Alright, cool, that's what we want. So we need to now check if this has been submitted. So if this form has been submitted, we'll want to show this container or this modal. Why, if it has not been submitted, we need to stay in this modal. So how do we do that? We need to create another function. Let's call this one submit const submit form. Actually bad at naming things, and this should be, we should add an event to this to prevent it from submitting by default, because right now when we submit, our page gets refreshed, so we need to stop that behavior. Then we'll say on submit, I'm passing this function right here. So when we submit now, the page doesn't refresh, and we will tell you what to do. So when we submit now, we need to set this selected state to true, or you can just negate it to whatever the set selected is. So it depends on you. So let's set it to true. Okay, right, that is working fine. We need to now check individually. So first of all, we'll open curly bracket and check using the conditional rendering. So we'll say if it's selected, show something else, show another thing. So we're saying if the format's been submitted, we need to show this message right here, leave. So call this out. So if you selected show this, else show this, yeah. So essentially, if we select something and submit, we should get this, which is working the way we want. All right, cool. But when we select this, we are not getting the value. So if I select 2 for instance and I submit, I'm still getting 4. So to just update that, we just need to pass in the selected rating right here. So just open the query bracket and pass in selected rating. So you can see that it's updating right here. So if we refresh now, select 1 for example and submit, yeah. Okay, so now let's add the animations. Like I said, I already have Framer Motion installed. You can just run npm install Framer dash motion to install it on your environment. And to use Framer Motion, you just basically need to import motion from Framer Motion. And basically how it works is quite easy. We just need to add motion to before the HTML element right here. So all we need to do right now is to let's just scooch this down right here. Let's do this as well. Let's do this on top and just say the initial, which is the starting point, and you can say that by using double curly brackets and say the opacity should be 0. It should be 0 like this. Okay, I'm already getting an error. Don't know where that's coming from. Oh, I'm not getting an error, so the initial opacity is coming in harder. So we need to animate it in. So we can just set this back to 1 so you can see how it happened. So the initial should be 0, then it should come in 1. So but we need to set a duration or a transition with a duration of how it should come in. So let's just say the transition and set it to duration. You can also add many properties to this. Let's just say 1 second to this. After 1 second, it should come in. If I add 4 seconds, I think duration should be a. Well, let's leave it at 2. 2 is better. And we need to still add an exit state to it. So set it back to 0. So if you are used to CSS animations using keyframes, is it keyframes? I can't recall again. Yeah, I think is keyframes. So if you are used to that, it's kind of similar to this, where you have the starting point, the point at which you should animate in, and the exit point. Yeah. Okay, so what we need to do right now is to add the transition to this. So this should just pop in, should scale in, and we just need to copy all this right here, and let's go to the top and add motion.div. So always remember to add motion before the HTML tag in order for it to work. And again, let's coach this down, paste in this right here, and let's just add a scale. So there are different properties to use right here, so you can mess with the ones you like. So for now, we just say the scale should be 0.5, so the starting point should be 0.5, so it shouldn't start from 0. You can actually start from 0 if you want to. Then this should be, might have guessed it, this should remain as 1. Then you can also add the exit of 0 as well, and the duration, let's just leave it at 2. So if we save now, you can see, I think that's quite slow. Let's leave it at 1. So if we refresh and we'll click on this and submit, yeah, so let's try one more time. Click on this, submit. Cool. All right guys, so that is the end of the video. Hope you learned something from this, and if you did, do well to leave a like. And if you enjoyed this video, you might as well enjoy this one that's showing up right now.